Welcome to Community Health. I'm Eric Smith, your host, and today we're here with energy healer Violeta Burja. Violeta practices Reiki and several other modalities that we're going to get to talk about, and very interesting stuff. How are you?
Thank you for inviting me. I'm very good, thank you.
Good. I'm excited to have you here.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here too.
I'm really interested in alternative healing methods.
Yes.
Tell us more about the ones that you know about.
Since my 20s, right, I learned a lot about different healing modalities. One of them, of course, Reiki. I did certification in Reiki Usuiro. This is traditional Reiki method, and also Kundalini Reiki. There are a lot of different methods out there, which are all in this energy psychology and energy healing, right? And I learned also about the crystals, about different things. And today what I do, I combine all of those methods into my sessions. The intention of the sessions is actually to empower people.
Okay.
Yes.
So
it's
Kundalini,
all about
these are Eastern energy
Yes.
systems of reading the energy in a person and then working with it?
Yes. As I said, because I combine different methods, I combine them with my knowledge. I combine them also with my abilities, extrasensory abilities that I learned throughout the life that I have and developed a lot of them. So that enables me to actually read people, almost scan people's energy. So without anything, any kind of knowledge about people, I read them. I read their energy. I see what is going on their mental level, on their emotional level, on their physical level, even spiritual level. So it is very interesting. It's like opening a new book with each client, opening a new book and reading what is there and seeing the blockages. I focus on finding the blockages. That's my priority, because when I see what is blocking that person, then I can also help them to release that, and I can give them guidance how they can help themselves also when they go home. So it's really important to find out this access to personal power that everybody has within themselves.
Because people can get shamed or embarrassed or grow up in certain ways or even have a trauma or something and have an energy block.
Definitely. Many times clients ask me, what are the blockages? What is the blockage? The blockage can be many different things. In my work, I saw blockages from all the way to the childhood. They're stemming all the way from the childhood. So it has to do a lot with how we raise children, how they grow up, how they are treated, because most of the beliefs that we form are from the childhood. And later we don't question those beliefs. Those beliefs become like automatic part of us. And based on those beliefs, we think. Based on those beliefs, we also speak and we also behave. And all of that forms the vibration, personal vibration of one person. So if something happened in the childhood, it doesn't have to be, it could be one traumatic event. It could be something that was just a pattern in the family, can then, has a huge effect decades later. If we don't process this throughout our lives, if we don't deal with certain issues, if we don't, let's say, forgive, if we don't express our emotions, if we learn that it's, the best way to go through life, just hiding our emotions, not to tell anybody about our weaknesses, not to even accept ourselves, then we have a huge problem decades later.
That's well said.
Yeah.
Society can be really cruel and sad things
Yes.
can happen. Other children can be mean. Adults can be, parents are imperfect.
Yes.
People are all going to have their different vibrational memories that are not
Yes.
functional.
Yes. And it's not just about childhood. It's not just about childhood trauma. I have a lot of people coming with all kinds of root causes. I'm specializing just to find this root causes, right? This is what I want to find, because when I go after the root cause, when I find it, I can release it through channeling of the energy. I help releasing this blockage. And it could be childhood, it could be sexual abuse, it could be verbal abuse, physical abuse. There are a lot of people coming to me with all those kind of things. It could be also, I am also able to see past lives.
I saw that, yes. And this,
Yes.
so the traumas can go past.
I had cases where the trauma was originated in past life, and not just one case, many cases like this. People don't even know why maybe they're not feeling comfortable in their skin, why they can't function, or they have a very hard time to manifest anything in their lives. It doesn't have to be something that is from this lifetime. It could be something that happened before. And I see scenes, it looks like watching the movie.
Yes.
So, yeah. So I see the whole scenes, I hear things, I see things, and I'm a very grounded person, you know. But this is really amazing. I'm able to shut down my mind during the sessions. That's why I'm able to also to receive all of that. And it's very interesting. I had one case, there was a lady who had a huge unexplainable fear of being shot, that she will be shot. So very afraid of that. And she even asked her parents if she was a witness to some kind of shooting when she was very young, because she didn't remember. And they said, no, nothing like this happened to you. And she said this was not just a common fear that everybody has, right? It was very traumatic for her. So I didn't know that, of course, because I don't ask questions before the session.
Okay.
So I just had her name, and she was on the table. So I was looking into her energy, and suddenly I saw this scene where she was somewhere, you know, in one village, and she was helping kids, about 20 children, to come to her to hide them. So once she was able to hid them, you know, behind the wall, it was like an entrance into a church or some kind of tunnel. When they were safe, men came on the horses and they shot her into her belly. And I saw, it was, I'm just explaining this because it
Like
was
a
a very
vision.
vivid scene.
Yes.
And I saw that, and when I see things like this, then I also receive information that explains me the whole situation. So that's, at that point, I knew that this trauma, because she died because of that, right? So her death in previous life, this trauma stayed with her, and she brought it, her soul, on a soul level, on this energy level, she brought it into this life. And once we brought this into her consciousness, right, it was better. But it's really, that's one case which is really interesting.
That's amazing. And
Yeah.
the crystals themselves can actually help.
I love using crystals. Crystals have been with us for many millennia. So they are amazing amplifiers and healers. So I'm certified in crystal healing as well. So I love to use crystals also during my sessions.
Yeah, I've had experiences where I've held other people's crystals and you can feel the information in it that
Yes.
they have.
Every crystal has a different information. Every crystal is great for something else. So there are some which are universal, like amethyst, clear quartz. But then there are different ones which are more, you know, for each chakra, each energy center in our body, more specialized for that, let's say.
And those open up energy sources.
They open up these energy centers. They help with opening, right? If you have a strong blockage, just putting the crystals on that center won't take it away.
Okay.
Yeah, but they can help with the healing process, because when I do the session with a client, when I work on somebody and I channel energy to release those blockages, then that's the beginning of the healing process.
And the channel is the part where you're aware of this information, you have a gift to understand it and channel it.
Yes.
You bring it out in the other person.
Yes. It's also interesting because information to me comes to me from different levels of energy, different sources. Also from the soul level of the person. I talk to the person while I'm working on somebody. I talk to this person also during the session. It's like telepathic conversation with the soul of this person, or the higher self, if you want to.
So you believe in
So
spirituality and the advancement of spirituality.
I do, because I'm witnessing this every single day, and every information that I receive, usually during the one session, I receive 2 pages of information, which I write down, because
that's
otherwise
amazing.
I would forget.
Yeah.
Okay, so the second part of the session is actually dedicated to explanation, to giving all this information to a client, so the client understands what happened during the session, what was there blocking him or her, what is that needed to be released. And I think this second part is as important as the first one.
So people in modern society have a hunger for this, even though it's not really a common knowledge.
It's not. I feel very blessed that I have these abilities to see that, and it has nothing to do with any kind of fortune telling. This is not fortune telling. This is just, I think the best expression is really scanning the energy of somebody, and then, helping to release certain things that's been there sometimes for decades.
Okay, so it's just you and them dealing with themselves and not going to some spiritual place, no demonic influences or anything like that. People be scared of that.
Yeah, I take this energy work with a huge responsibility, because I think that I strongly believe there are different levels of energy out there. Okay, it's not just one dimension out there, right? In this spiritual world that we don't see, besides physical existence that everybody knows, right? So it is important, if you can start connecting to an energy, it's important to connect to the highest source, not to just any energy that is out there.
So there are positive and negative aspects to this.
I wouldn't call it positive and negative. Everything's good,
okay,
in my opinion, but yeah, you have to be ready, and it's better to connect with the energy which is higher than yours, and so you not get pulled down.
I see.
But there are a lot of negative intentions from different people. So, and if those people have the power to deal with energies, to work with energies, that combination is never good. And I've seen a lot of
Yeah.
people being victims of that too.
Where some people are like projecting into them just bad
Yes.
intentions, and they're carrying it around with them because
Yes.
they're believing in it or not seeing it.
Yes. There are a lot of people with not the greatest intentions out there. There's a lot of jealousy and hate and all kinds of things that people project into the world because of their own unhappiness, because of their own pain, because of their own hurt. We're all born pure. When we come into this world, all kids, for me, are pure love, right?
Okay.
And so what happens later, it's just the combination again of the different circumstances, of environmental factors, the society, the culture that you live in, your parents, how you were brought up, and also your character, the combination of everything. So if this combination is not a good one, then people, when they're adults or even teenagers, they're very unhappy. They are dealing with depression, with anxiety, with stress, with a lot of things, with their fears. They don't know how to process them by themselves. And then the worst possible scenario is if they don't have anyone who they can confide it in, that they can talk to, that they can express the hurt and pain. That's the worst. So that's why we have a lot of suicides, a lot of crime, a lot of everything stems from this. This is what I believe.
Negative actions out there.
Yes.
What's a positive path for people to empower themselves depending on what stage they're at?
Yeah, we're all on different stages, right? Every soul, I always say every soul is on its path to enlightenment, but it depends where in this path you are. So those who are more advanced in this spiritual way doesn't mean that they are better than others. There's no competition here. It's just so much more that we have to learn and realize. And in order to become more empowered, I think that a first thing that I noticed with the people that I work on a daily basis is loving themselves, accepting themselves, taking time to connect with themselves through meditation, through breathing exercises, through doing the things that feed their soul, feed their hearts, talking to people, expressing in a healthy way. These are very simple steps that everybody can do.
But to get in touch.
It takes some time. It takes time. It takes an effort. It is investment into yourself. And I think that if you approach to life with trust, with faith in life, in world, with gratitude in your heart, that you can always find something that you're grateful for. And if you give yourself love, which you are very much able to give to others, but you forget about yourself. Once you start loving yourself, accepting all your weaknesses, all your strengths, all your talents, and all your everything that you otherwise don't like about yourself, if you start accepting this and loving this, I think that you're on a very good path to empower yourself.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
It is kind of a harsh and competitive world. A lot of beliefs and ideologies kind of work against that principle of believing in yourself even.
Yeah, but I always envision this inner peace is like feeling inner peace is like being in the eye of the hurricane. No matter what kind of chaos is around you, no matter what is happening with what kind of pace, you can always, if you take time for yourself, if you start working on yourself, you can always get into the eye of the hurricane where everything is still, is calm, peaceful.
That makes it sound like a skill where you can find this enlightenment or grace through the skill of the practice.
Yes.
Okay. Well, it's wonderful.
Yes.
It's great to have you here. Hopefully you will be able to come back and talk more. Would you like to tell the audience how they can get a hold of you?
Yes. My website, I have a website where there's more information about my therapy, my sessions, about me, and it's on www.heal-holistic.com.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Violeta. That was so wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course. We'll see you again next show.